What's Gucci, everybody? It's AJ here again, and today I want to talk about another C tutorial in which I want to make a linked list structure, a simple, basic linked list structure in C. Now, as you can see here in the code I have set up, I've already got a few things going here. I've got a structure of a node which contains an integer. It could be a value, it could be a character, or it could be a boolean, but I chose an int, just a simple value to store in the node. And I have a node pointer, so I can point to other nodes in this structure and make a linked list, or point to other nodes and make a linked list and link them together with the pointer. And then I have a type def, so I can easily type these out, and so I can just reference this structure, this node structure, as just capital NODE. And then here I declare my two node pointers. I'm going to have one that's the head and one that is the current node. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to declare these variables here. So, or to make this linked list. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set, first thing I need to do is clear my variable int I, and that's going to be how I later on give each node or block a value. And then I'm going to write a for loop, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a linked list of 10 nodes, and you'll see why in a second. For int I is less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. And then, so I'm going to go loop through this 10 times, as you see, or let me make this a 1, so it is 10 times, 1 through 10. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use memory allocation. I'm going to use malloc, and nope, sorry, that did not declare it. And I'm going to do size of node, so I automatically allocate memory for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast it to be a node pointer, so it knows that. So it's good to make exact cast so everyone knows what you're talking about. Get rid of that right before the parentheses. And then I'm going to set current. Since I've now got that, I'm going to dereference the pointer, and I'm going to set that equal to, or set the value equal to I. So 1, it will be cycle through 1 through 10. And then I'm going to set the next pointer. I'm going to set that current node, I'm going to point it to the head, and then I'm going to set the head equal to current. So what this is doing here, oops, I just need 1 equals. So what's happening here is that I'm starting off in the current node, I'm allocating memory for it, which you have to do in C, and then I'm setting the value to whatever I want, which I just want to be the cycle of the for loop. I'm setting the value of each node, and then I'm setting the next node to head, and then I'm setting the next node to head, and then I'm setting the current to head. And what this is doing is that every node I add, every node I add is going to be the first node in this list. It's not going to go to the back. And the reason because of this is, there is one thing I forgot. I need to set the head equal to null. Oops. Because I never declare I don't declare the head to be anything. And the reason because this is, so the first node I look at, the first node I add, the current node, when it runs the first time, the next will be equal to head, which will be null. Which is good because I want the last node to be null, so I know I'm at the end of my linked list if I want to transverse it. And then I set the current node, which I know I've just added to the head. So I know if I start out at the head, then simply I will be able to. I've just added a few nodes. Now, the next thing we want to do is I want to show you that indeed I did create this list and that the nodes are being transversed. So what I want to do here is I want to set current equal to the head node, and then I want to do a while loop here so I can see what I'm doing here, and then do a printf. Did I put a closing braces? No, I did not. And then I'm going to do a printf %d/n, and what I'm going to do is current a. So I'm going to print out the value of each node. Let me put that right there, and then I'm going to set current equal to current next. And let's run this and see what happens. There were errors. Where is the error? Sorry guys, I had to cut there. If you had noticed in my in the 2 seconds ago video, I had malloc spelled wrong, and I accidentally had an extra brace at the end of this while loop. I added 2 braces because the while loop did finish for me and I did not check down, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a run, and maybe right before you want to pause this video and make sure you know what the desired output should be. And I'm going to run this, and I get a countdown of 10 through 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's because, again, every time I'm adding a node, I'm adding it to the front of the linked list. So I'm simply traversing from front to beginning. And so every node I add at the end is actually in the front. So the 10 is printed first, because when I run this on the 10th iteration, I make another node. I set the value of that. And then basically what I do is I set the current next to be head, which is whatever I did last, and then I set the head equal to the current node. And so the head is what I just made. So the 10th node, the node containing the value with 10 in it. And yeah, so one thing I didn't do in this video is I forgot to free it. I forgot to free the linked list, and in my code there's not many, and also I have an extra int I here because I use the advanced for loop, which is only available in C99. You can't initialize the integer in only C99, but I forgot to free the linked list at the end, which I would need to do, and I would also need to set the pointers current and head to null at the end if I wanted to make a very correct linked list. But that's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope I can make some other C tutorials in the future. Thank you again, and bye.